A girl finds herself in danger after being kidnapped. Her captor has lost his daughter and believes that sacrifices will bring her back. Meanwhile, a documentary team visits a mysterious island with a dark history of dolls. As they explore, they find out the true and haunted nature of the island. Will they survive the horrors hidden among the dolls? As the movie started, a girl was tied to a pillar. She had been kidnapped. When the kidnapper approached her, she began to cry. She fell to the ground and begged for her life, saying, "Leave me. I will give you as much money as you want in exchange for this." But the kidnapper replied, "Shut up. I do not want money. I want your blood and your body." After saying this, he opened her up, took her to another room, and tied her to a chair. He then brought her boyfriend, who was unconscious, in front of her. The girl pleaded with him to spare her life. The kidnapper, filled with anger, stated, "I do not understand. I do not want money. I am doing this for my daughter." The girl, still thinking about money, replied, "I will give your daughter whatever she wants. I will pay for her treatment. Just let us go." But the man refused again, saying, "Your money cannot save my daughter because she is dead. To get her back, I will offer your corpses to Satan. In exchange for this, give me back my daughter." Suddenly, a strange living doll appeared before him. The girl was terrified and could not speak. The kidnapper then put tape over her boyfriend's mouth. As he read some spells, a strange knife stabbed his body. Blood began to pour out of him, and the kidnapper collected it in a glass. The girl could not bear to see this. She tried to escape. As soon as she got her hands free, she ran away. But where could she go? This was a deserted island. When she got tired and stopped to catch her breath, she sensed someone behind her. When she turned around, she saw Satan standing there, and he brought her back to the same farmhouse. The kidnapper tied the girl up again. After finishing his work, he went to his lounge and turned on the TV. He watched a documentary hosted by Zoe, who made films in strange places around the world. She shared these adventures with everyone. 6 people were on her team, and they all loved discovering new places. Among them was a team member named Dory, the youngest of the group, who also worked as their social media manager. She handed Zoe some emails and letters in a hard form this time. Zoe did not pay much attention to her team, except for one member. A letter arrived, and it was an invitation. Someone was calling Zoe and her team to their island, known for many scary stories. When they heard about this island, Zoe and her team felt excited. Finally, after a long time, they were going to have something very interesting for their documentary. After feeling scared, the scene shifted back to the island, where the kidnapper approached the girl. She was crying, knowing this man would show her no mercy. But it was different from what she expected. The kidnapper began to apologize. He told her, "Please forgive me. You are so tired because of me. I am sorry." The girl was shocked to hear this because she was completely frustrated with him. But then, the kidnapper held her face and broke her neck, causing her to die. Now the story shifted back to Zoe's entire team as they prepared to visit the island. They first arranged for a boat. It was surprising that the boatman they spoke to refused to take them to that island. After a long search, they finally found a boatman who agreed to go there, but he asked for a lot of money. For them, money was not a big issue. They paid him and reached the island. Upon arrival, everything looked fine. The island was beautiful and green, and the weather made them happy. But they did not know about the danger hidden behind this beauty. After a while, they began to see strange things. Dolls hung all over the island. The boatman brought them there and pointed the way to the farmhouse, telling them they would have to go ahead on their own. This felt strange to them, but they were still excited to make a documentary. The flying dolls around them seemed interesting, so Zoe started filming the documentary's history right there. Meanwhile, the boatman, who was alone on the way back, felt an eerie fear. It seemed as if someone was following him, and the doll nearby was watching him closely. Feeling frightened, he began to run. Suddenly, he heard a voice in front of him. He pleaded with the doll, saying, "Please leave me. I came here to drop off some people. You can kill them all, but let me go." However, Santana grabbed his neck and killed him. Now the focus returned to Zoe, who was explaining the island's history. There was a man who lived on this island whose daughter had died. No one knew what happened to his mind, but he hung dolls everywhere because he believed his daughter's spirit would be trapped in one. He thought this way, he could meet his daughter again and again. Now, Veronica, a member of the group, went to the island alone. When she spotted a house nearby, she called out to her team, Everyone thought the house looked normal, like a regular person's home. However, something strange happened. The door opened for them. Joe believed it was Julian's house, the man who had sent them the invitation. He entered the house, calling out, "Julian, Julian," but when no one answered, the team decided to go inside. The inside looked completely normal, even though they expected Julian's house to be gloomy. They chose to film the second part of their documentary there. Joey began talking and the cameraman started recording. While filming, the cameraman noticed Santana sitting on the sofa right behind Joey. He felt scared and stopped recording, telling his partners about what he saw. Everyone felt a bit frightened, but then suddenly, Julian appeared from behind. His introduction surprised everyone, but he calmed them down and welcomed them. It was nighttime, and he lit a bonfire for everyone, talking to them. He said he once thought people came to share his pain, but over time, he realized they just came to enjoy themselves. So, he stopped letting people visit the island. Julian then told Joey that he invited his team to prove his daughter was not dead. Hearing this, everyone sat in shock at Julian's words. Julian explained that he kept dolls on the island in memory of his daughter, so her soul could find peace and become lost among the dolls. After sharing this, he warned everyone that it got cold on the island at night and suggested they take blankets to sleep. He offered them to stay at his house, but everyone refused. Joey said they needed to film some shots at night and didn't want to disturb him. One couple went to the basement of the nearby farmhouse to spend the night. They weren't sleeping when they heard laughter outside. At first, they thought it might be Veronica and Tori, but suddenly, Santana appeared in front of them. Before they could react, Santana attacked the man and killed him. His wife screamed in fear, and in the next second, Santana finished her off. At that time, Veronica and Tori were exploring the island and saw many dolls. Tori thought this was paranormal activity, suggesting there was a scary story behind it. But Veronica disagreed, leading to an argument between them. In anger, Veronica left Tori on the island and returned. Tori then approached Joey, who was writing the script. She felt very cold without a blanket. Tori told Joey she was going to Julian's house. When she arrived, Julian came out and invited her inside. He offered her a drink, and they started to talk. Tori asked Julian what happened to his daughter. After a moment of thought, he began to respond, but Joey interrupted in shock, asking, "Two sisters? Do you have another daughter?" In his anger, Julian hit the table hard, which startled Joey. Realizing he had reacted poorly, Julian quickly apologized to Joey, saying it was an emotional topic for him. He added that he didn't want to repeat the painful memories too often. Joey understood his feelings, and Julian brought him a blanket. Joey returned to his camp to sleep. That night, while they slept, someone stood behind Joey. The figure grabbed his face, broke his neck, and killed him. Joey's eyes suddenly opened, revealing that what he saw was just a dream. He had dreamt that Santana killed him. Waking up in fear, he saw it was morning, and his other team members were awake, waiting for him. However, 2 members of their group were still missing. The group decided to start their work without them, but Joey disagreed. He believed they might be in trouble and suggested they search for them. After listening to him, his partner agreed. They said they would go shooting while Joey and Tori searched for the missing members. Tori went with the girl to Julian's house, which was locked at the moment. Meanwhile, Julian was in the jungle, standing in front of a tree where a green-clothed doll hung. He looked at the doll in a strange way and smiled at it. The doll also started to smile at him. Meanwhile, Tori and another guy opened Julian's house. They went inside and waited for Julian, but he took a long time to arrive. The guy set up a shooting area, and as soon as he sat on the sofa, he noticed many pictures on the table. Looking closely, he saw a picture of Tori. This made him think deeply. After seeing the picture, he understood he had been brought there as part of a plan. Tori had been the one to give Joey the invitation letter. Before he could confirm this with Tori, she revealed that she was Julian's daughter. As soon as she said this, she hit the guy hard with something and killed him. After this, Julian came in, praising Tori for her action. He said he and his daughter were very pleased with her. The scene then shifted to Veronica and Joey, who were searching for their 2 missing team members. While walking through the jungle, Joey and Veronica began to argue. During their argument, Santana appeared in front of them. Veronica thought he was joking and laughed, but her laughter stopped when Joey told her who Santana was, explaining that he had dreamed about him the night before. Joey warned her that if they wanted to escape, they needed to run. They both started running, and Joey spotted a shortcut. While he called out to Veronica, Julian appeared behind her and covered her face with a cloth, making her unconscious. Veronica managed to hide in an old house, but she soon discovered the corpses of her two friends. She felt terrible about the situation. Before she could react, Santana came up behind her and hit her head, knocking her out. When Veronica and Joey regained consciousness, they found themselves at Julian's house. Seeing the dead body of her other friend made Veronica feel awful. She regretted coming there because her decision led to the deaths of her friends. As they were feeling hopeless, Tori appeared in front of them, alive and unharmed. They were shocked to see her. Tori told them not to be surprised, explaining that she had brought them there. She showed them childhood photos of herself with Julian, where both Julian and Santana were present. Hearing this, Veronica cursed Tori. Joey, terrified, begged for his life and pleaded with Tori not to leave him. Tori replied, saying he could not be spared because Santana liked his body. Therefore, he was destined to die. At that moment, Julian entered the room and asked for forgiveness but insisted they had to kill Joey to make Santana happy. Tori killed Veronica and Joey and collected their blood in a bowl, reciting spells. The same spells Julian had spoken at the beginning of the movie. They needed to mix the blood of all the dead people. When Tori approached Veronica, Veronica hit her hand so hard that it started to bleed. That blood mixed with Veronica's blood, ruining the ritual. Julian looked scared, trying to fix the ritual. But when the time came, Joey ran away. Julian chased him into the fields, but Joey tricked him and hid in an old house where his former friends were buried. Julian came looking for him, but this location gave Joey the chance to attack. As soon as Julian appeared in front of him, Joey killed him with a steel rod. Afterward, Tori arrived, heartbroken to see her father dead. Before she could say anything to Joey, he killed her too. Tori cried, realizing she was responsible for all the tragedy. She thought about how Santana had come to her and killed her. Later, Santana performed the ritual, mixing the blood of all the dead people and transforming herself into a human body. In the end, it became clear that Santana lived alone on the island. Joey and his entire team had been killed, and Santana awaited more innocent victims like Joey to fulfill her evil desires. The film ended here.